welcome to the Fest Live. Joining me today is Elliot Katz, co-founder of Phantom Auto. Elliot, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So I have to tell you, there's not many companies that have headlines written about them making forklift, driving a desk job. So tell us about Phantom Auto.
Yeah, so what we do is we provide our customers with remote operation software that enables them to remotely monitor, remotely assist, or remotely drive unmanned vehicles from up to thousands of miles away. And we are deploying vehicles all throughout the logistics sector.
Okay.
We're within the four walls of a warehouse with forklifts, outside the four walls of a warehouse in distribution center yards with yard trucks, and then also first and last mile delivery with autonomous delivery robots.
Interesting. So thinking of you just as a forklift company is clearly not the only way to think about you.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. We have vehicle agnostic technology. So whatever our customers are trying to deploy in the logistics sector, we're there to help.
And is it typically, obviously here at Manifest, who doesn't want to drive a forklift remotely? Sounds like a lot of fun. But I heard you, sort of telling us about it. And so it sounds like there's, that the remote driving is really only a piece of, what the software platform does. Is that correct?
Yeah, so when a customer is using our software, there's really two ways that it can be used. So if we're talking about forklifts specifically, okay, we have remote-enabled autonomous forklifts. That's actually something we're doing with our partner and customer and investor, ArcBest, which is also here at Manifest, multi-billion-dollar publicly traded logistics company. So we're going to market with them with forklifts that have autonomous functionality, okay, but basically we're splitting up the tasks between autonomy and remote operation because there's certain things that autonomy cannot do that a human brain can do quite easily. So with that, that's one of the ways that we're going to the market. The other way that we're going to market is with fully remotely operated forklifts. So the biggest issue right now in the space is there has been a labor shortage in logistics for decades, but it's extremely acute right now because of the pandemic. So I'm sure you've seen in the news, companies cannot attract labor, and so they're raising wages to attract more labor, but the result is they're still unable to attract enough labor to do the job, and it's negatively affecting their bottom lines. And so with us, you can remove that geographic restriction to hiring, right? Think about company A right now.
And by the way, is that because you can totally see the vicious cycle that happens? I'm going to have to pay more, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but but I still can't get it. Costs spiral anyway. Mm-hmm. Consumers have it. Demand goes down, and so you can totally see it.
Yeah.
But so is it in a lot of the labor shortages? Is it a geographic issue, or what are some of the other issues as well? Not that you're a labor economist, but I'll let you play one right now. If you don't mind.
Right. Well, the other thing that I'll say too about raising wages is I agree with you. It's not a bad thing at all for people that are taking these jobs. It's a very good thing, right? The problem is those additional costs have to come out of the fold some way, right? So a lot of times that's going to be passed to the consumer, right? So somehow things are going to shake down.
Yeah.
And in terms of the labor issues, again, we're talking about a remotely operated forklift. So rather than only hiring people who are 30 minutes travel distance from these warehouses, we're removing that geographic restriction. Now you can hire people from anywhere in the country, if not anywhere in the world. And so that's really, really important to our customers. The other things that are really important, especially right now, are safety and health, right? Safety in the forklift space, about 1 in 10 forklifts get into a serious accident each year, which can lead to injuries, even sometimes death. And so what we're doing is...
a high percentage though. If you just sort of polled the person like myself and said, what percentage of forklifts are going to get into an accident?
Yeah.
I don't know that it was said 10%. So.
No, it's a dangerous environment. It's somewhat of a dangerous job, and so we're removing the operator from this potentially hazardous environment, which is a warehouse, into an office building, right? And so that's a big gain. during the pandemic, all of our customers in real time are trying to reduce the amount of humans that they have physically on site in close quarters in a warehouse. So from a health standpoint, this is a huge win. And then in terms of productivity and efficiency, you have the ability to have multiple sites around America, let's say, in a centralized remote operation center. If there's a surge in your warehouse in New Jersey, you can click a button, have 5 digital drivers, deal with that surge, things normalize there, and then there's a surge in Oregon, you can click the same button, have the exact same drivers there. So there's major efficiency and productivity gains as well.
I mean, did you spend time in the military by chance? Because I'm just picturing, some of these remote flying centers, but no.
So I myself did not,
Yes.
but a lot of our team has come from military experience.
Yeah. And so, well, speaking of which, what was the genesis of this? How does one wake up and say, I got it?
Yeah. So it's a very good question. I'll give you 2 different answers. So
Is the one answer going to be, well, my family runs a forklift business? No.
No.
Okay.
So actually, we started the company, or we came out of stealth in 2018, and we were highly focused on on-road autonomy.
All right.
My background, I've been working in the on-road autonomous vehicle space for almost a decade now. My co-founder actually came, he has a technical background, so our technology deals with latency, and we have to have super low latency, high bandwidth communication software.
Such a good point. Yes, you cannot have trade show Wi-Fi. Got it.
Exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. And so he actually comes from the video gaming space. So if you think about it, if you have a multiplayer game and someone, let's say, shoots a fireball and the other person is 50,000 miles away, they need to see that fireball in real time. Latency comes into the equation. And so we combined his expertise on the technical side, my expertise just on autonomous vehicles generally. And he is really the one who came up with the idea, because he was thinking through autonomous vehicles and thinking there's no way that for the last 100 years we could have humans driving cars, and now we're flipping the switch and the machine is going to drive perfectly every time. So what happens when there's those edge cases? You need a human in the loop. So that's how I thought about the technology, and we started to go to market with robo-taxis. And we realized quickly that robo-taxis are still several years away, but what is deployable now? What's deployable now is in the logistics sector when you're transporting goods and not humans, and that's what took us to forklifts and yard trucks and delivery robots.
Well, I knew you were going to be a sharp group of people. I saw that Bessemer was led your Series A, or was part of your Series A.
Yes.
One of the best firms out there. So I knew, no dummies, and that's for sure. So anything exciting plans for this year, next 12 months that you guys are looking to unveil?
Yeah, so coming up here this year, we are externally going to market with our remote-enabled autonomous forklifts in conjunction with our partner ArcBest. So that's exciting for us. ArcBest has about 40,000 customers, and we're going to be providing this technology externally to their customers. That's a big customer pool for us.
Big.
And then the other thing that we're doing is we're deploying with our customer NFI, which is a privately held multi-billion-dollar logistics company. They also invested in our Series B. And so we're deploying in this year and the coming years thousands of forklifts in these warehouses, which we think are going to have a very positive effect on this space, both from the standpoint of the operators get a safer operating environment, a better quality of life, and for their employers, they're able to have people do this job, right? Their talent pool is virtually unlimited.
Oh, great points. It'll be very interesting to see what transpires. I think one last question then is, when you think about the current infrastructure, you're not a hardware company, it sounds like. Is there a lot of retrofitting that has to happen in order to enable these?
Yes, so it depends on the application. So for instance, with what we're doing with ArcBest, they already have the forklifts, they have the autonomy, so we're providing them software only.
Yeah.
But when we provide, for example, what we're providing to NFI, we have a partnership with Mitsubishi, which is one of the largest forklift OEMs in the world, They provide us the base forklift. We do need to add some hardware to that forklift. It's off-the-shelf hardware, cameras, etc. And then we provide a teleoperated version of that forklift to the end user.
Very cool. Well, exciting story. Congratulations on everything you've achieved thus far, and can't wait to talk again.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks so much.